Alright, so I just came across something fairly interesting. This mower, this carb came in on a mower. You prime it, it'll start run for maybe a second and dies. It just burns the fuel out of there. And no gasket between the manifold and the engine. On these little tecumseh carburetors, it's easier to take it off with manifold and all than separate the carburetor from the manifold tube. Anyway, no gasket here. So with no gasket, it's not going to have any suction to pull fuel up. Ooh, speaking of fuel. So what we're going to do, get this back in the vise. I can see scrape marks here where someone has been at it. We're going to take this off, and I'm going to predict this is nice and shiny, clean inside, like it's been cleaned recently. Because somebody took it off and they lost that gasket. Alright. You can see someone's been scratching at it. So, not perfectly clean. I'm just going to wipe it out with a rag, a paper towel or something. That's hard to see, but you can see all those scratches in there. Someone's definitely been into it. I am going to pull it apart and make sure all the bits and pieces are in there, because if they lost one, there's a chance they might have lost more. Alright. Needle valve looks good. There is a seed in there. It's not flooding. I have no idea where my tecumseh carb tool is. Or I'd set this. Alright, so everything in there looks good and clean. My guess is either the owner or did it himself, or he got someone else to work on it for him, and they lost that little piece. The jet looks good. There's 2 holes in these jets. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick it up with the camera or not. There's a bigger one here. Then there's a little teeny tiny one up here. No, it's not going to focus. Anyway, just got to know there's 2 holes in them. Gasket looks good. So I'm going to make a gasket for this. And then we're going to put it back on, and I'm going to bet it's going to run just fine. Alright, I'm going to turn you off, and we're going to set up for a gasket. Alright, I didn't have a gasket for this, but I do keep a roll of gasket paper around all the time. So we're just going to set this on here. We're going to push. What we're doing is we're looking for the edge of the gasket, or the openings. And there you have an imprint of the gasket. You use quite a bit of force to do that, so we'll trim it up just a little bit. Now, getting it actually cut out, that might be a harder part. So this gasket doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty close. Alright, so that's reasonably close, I think. Figured out how to done there. There, I'm going to punch that out with punches, the 2 bolt holes, and then we'll go install that. Alright, that gasket's a long ways from perfect, but it's close enough, so I'm going to go install that. I'm not going to bore you with that part, but I will bring you along to see if it starts up and runs afterwards. Alright, so carburetor's back on. I treated the filter with Permatex spray, and I put a new air filter in because the old one was pretty horrible. Let's see if it stays running. Started better than that last time. Well, something's not right. Alright, so it seems to be running alright. It was flooded a little there at first. There's a kill switch down here on this plate. And when I was first pulling it over, I had noticed that when I pulled the handle down, try and get this in frame, you can see there's a big gap on this side. So what I got to do is adjust this cable, and I'm going to show you why that cable is doing that. It's pretty common. So there's a lot of turns in it. If you can take some of them out, it helps a lot. But the big thing is right here. They've got a tie wrap right here, and that's making the cable come in and immediately do a little loop. I go down at least 6 inches before I put a tie wrap. If this is popping off, put a tie wrap right around it. And that'll make that go a little easier. I'll put a little bit of lube on it, sharpen the blade, and it's ready for resale. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.